Good evening. Welcome to the workshop session of the Mayor and City Council of the City of College Park. I'm Mayor Bianca Motley Broom. We have a quorum present with council members McKenzie, Karn, and Arnold, and so we'll get started at this time. Madam City Clerk.
First agenda item is presentation on Airport West Community Improvement District expansion to the City of College Park, presented by Airport West Community Improvement District.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, City Manager, City Attorney, City Clerk, and the residents of College Park. Tonight we will hear a presentation on the expansion of Airport South Community Improvement District from Community Improvement District.
Hi, good evening. Thank you so much for having us. Before we get started, I do want to make a correction. It's not Airport West. You all voted on that for us back in March. This is Airport South for Clayton County, for the portion of College Park that's in it. All right, and I'll go ahead and get started. You can go to the next slide. So again, ATL Airport Community Improvement District, you know, we're a quasi-government public-private partnership, and we exist to help support the cities. I don't want to like go too deep into that because we have come before you all ahead of time. And so essentially what I'm coming here to say is that we've engaged property owners in College Park. We've talked to them about investing in the areas surrounding their properties. And a few of them have agreed to join the CID. And with the new income that comes in from their investment into the CID, we put that back into programs and to invest in College Park and the other cities that we work with through programs such as beautification. You all are familiar with our litter program where we do clean up. We also kicked that off this month with our Earth Day and our cleanup campaign. We have a pilot project at the GICC, and we also help with public safety. You can go to the next slide. And so we want to talk about why the expansion now. Because I am the Director of Community Outreach at the ACIDS organization, you all will be seeing me quite regularly. We hope to have expansions twice a year for Fulton and Clayton County. You can go to the next slide. And so what that means for you all, for College Park, because when we come before you to ask, of course, this is not for a cost to the city, but for your consideration for our resolution. Because we can't expand our boundaries without the acknowledgement and consent from the council. And so what that means is further alignment with our initiatives. We had talked to you all before about where we're targeting expansion next. And so on this slide, we're gonna focus more on Old National Highway, Roosevelt Highway corridors in connection with the city of South Fulton, and I'm putting together a strategy for that as well. But for the purposes of this expansion, we have some infill properties that are along the Old National Highway, and I believe some on Godby Road. All right, next slide.
Question.
Yes. Oh, somebody said bless
I
you.
said
I thought you said question. And so essentially the benefits for College Park, of course, it does strengthen the overall commercial tax base. It does leverage money for private infrastructure. With the CID, we are able to bring a wider pool of money to the table for projects than cities can generally do on their own. And we also believe in the catalytic redevelopment that this city supports. And again, no financial burden, just your consideration. Next slide. I talked about that, so you can switch to the next slide too. And so, yes, we just ask that you all will vote on our resolution to be approved so that we can submit it to Clayton County for certification. Do you all have any questions or anything that I kind of went through fast? Would you like to ask?
Appreciate the presentation. We'll start with Councilmember McKenzie.
No question.
Okay. Councilmember Karn.
All right, thank you all for coming out. Great presentation as always. It's always important to keep expanding this. CIDs are really, I don't know if people understand how powerful they actually are in terms of community benefit, but one thing you want to encourage the cities to do on our end of the equation is to encourage folks to patronize these businesses. That's very, very, very important. When I was county commissioner, I used to stress in my meetings, my community meetings, if you're going to make a large purchase, vehicle, appliances, business equipment, make that purchase in Fulton County, because that expands the tax digest, and those tax dollars stay in our county and feed our school system and so on and so forth. So I think we got to do a better job, and you all with the cities, to remind them of that. These people are paying in, but they're investing in our community. So we want to encourage folks to invest in the businesses in the CID if you need that kind of service, and maybe a CID service directory for residents that all the CID cities can put on their website. So if you're looking for this, if you're looking for that, well, hey, this is in the CID community. Hey, buy it here if you can. So we want to definitely expand it out and make sure we're doing what we can on our end as well.
Yeah, no, that's an excellent point. You're actually getting into some of my strategy going forward for the next year. I'm working on hosting roundtables for property owners in target areas, but of course it expands to the businesses that actually lease those spaces. And so there, I can help facilitate conversations about what improvements they need in the area, but also what support they need so that patrons can continue to support their businesses as well, so we can all grow together. But I love that you brought that up.
Councilmember Arnold?
No questions, just thank you for talking to the businesses, explaining it to them, and making sure that they understand, so we don't have to explain it to them.
Yes.
And thank you for expanding and looking at the businesses that are on Godby, Phoenix Boulevard, and over on Massachusetts Avenue as well.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that.
Councilmember Gay?
No questions, but I appreciate y'all's presentation this evening.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate the points y'all made. We are definitely working on our storytelling too, so it will get better as we continue.
Thank you so much. Appreciate the time.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Next item, presentation of the Aviator and Nap York concept for 4130 SkyTrain Way, presented by Kevin Hanau and Joe Netto.
Yeah, Mr. Neto and Mr. Now are here to do a presentation on the two concepts that are listed on the workshop agenda.
Thank you, Ms. Lyons.
Good evening, all.
Good evening.
Thank you for having me here. My name is Kevin Haneo, and I represent the Aviator. It is a vision. Would you be able to? Okay, I present to you the Aviator. If you could please move to the next slide. The Aviator is currently at 4130 SkyTrain Avenue, and it's a 50,000 square foot building that currently only houses one floor that's leased out. The other floor is completely available. If you could please move to the next slide. Next slide, that one's not relevant right now. Okay, we have a vision to bring food and beverage, coffee, bar, and retail to the bottom floor. We feel that the area is missing food options in that cluster, and a good coffee shop and some other retail options. So we plan to bring that to the first floor, which is approximately 35,000 square feet. You can move on to the next slide, please. Next slide. This would be a future proposal, but you can move on to the next slide on that one. Next slide, please. Okay, so we see the Aviator as a third terminal experience located just 2 minutes from Hartsfield, and basically a space to work, quality food and coffee, a place to meet or reset, an elevated environment before or after your flight. You can move on to the next. Our whole theme is 50s, 60s aviation, when it was glamorous to fly, when people actually dressed up to fly and not show up in pajamas and Crocs. So that's what our vision is as far as the look and feel of the building. You can move on to the next slide, please. We do have a deal with a national player for 18,000 square foot of co-working space. This will be amazing for the area because it will be a business driver. We will have approximately 60 different offices located within the co-working space or the office suites. This will also stimulate a lot of new businesses that want to come to the city of College Park. Obviously, you have a lot of international travelers as well. So we feel that this will be a business hub for the city of College Park and for Atlanta. Nap York, Mr. Joe will speak on that shortly here, so we can skip that one. We want to bring a proper coffee shop to our building. You can skip to the next one. Food and beverage spaces, not necessarily a food hall, but you guys may get the picture here. Quality food. Like I said, there's only a couple restaurants currently in that whole area, and we just want to bring high-quality food to the area. Next. We do want to bring a steakhouse anchor or a really good restaurant as well. Next one, please. Perhaps a speakeasy bar or some type of cocktail bar as well. And the demographics, obviously, you know, are very strong. We have over 1,100 guests staying every night, and they need something to do. So our thought process here is that instead of people catching an Uber and going to Pond City Market or leaving the area, let's keep the dollars there. That's our whole vision as far as bringing these quality food and retail options for them. You can move on to the next one. And one more. Obviously, we have 5 million riders riding the SkyTrain. We also plan to capture that. We envision people doing a quick pit stop there, maybe for coffee or for other services that we can offer to the aviators and also to passengers. This is a map that we illustrated, which we feel is a better map that shows the whole picture of where everything is located. Next, please. And that concludes my presentation. I'll pass it over to Mr. Joe Netto with Nap York. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for having me. My name is Joe Netto. I'm with Netto Realty Services, a commercial real estate firm here in Atlanta. I'm here in my capacity as a tenant broker representing Nap York in hopes to get yours approval for them to move into Aviator. Yes.
Just make sure the microphone is closer to you.
Sorry about that. Okay, next slide. So, founded in 2021 and headquartered in Manhattan, Nap York is a 5-star luxury pod hotel that provides an affordable, clean, and flexible resting space to airline crew members. It's exclusively for pilots, flight attendants, staff of the airline, staff of the airport. Nap York partners with landlords to convert existing spaces into sleep stations for pilots, flight attendants, ground crew, basically anyone at the airport who needs quality rest. As most crew members only require 4 to 8 hours of ground time before their next flight, Nap York provides them with an alternative to a full night stay and the full night overnight price of a hotel. We can go to the next slide, please. Nap York has 3 sleep station options. We've got economy class, which is a bunk style setting, full-size business class pods for 1 individual, and then first class private rooms as well. The build-out consists of high-end finishes made from recycled materials, being that part of their mission is to create a sustainable environment. Go to the next slide, please. Here are some photos of the New York location showing the cafe area, a relaxation lounge, restroom stall, housekeeping room, and the exterior meditation garden. You can sort of see on there the recycled materials, bamboo floors, furniture, things like that. The next slide, please. On the technology front, in keeping with the company's vision to be the most flexible, most reliable, and most simple, memberships and reservations are easily made online through the Nap York website, as well as their app. Access to the building is through the member's cell phone. So you hop off the SkyTrain, phone will get you in the building, phone will get you in the elevator, into the space, and into your pod. Next slide, please. Currently, there are over 200 monthly airline crew subscriptions just from JFK to San Francisco. We're hoping that would be at least doubled here in Atlanta, but that's just one route and shows how successful they've been doing out of New York. The company has 3 permanent locations, the New York headquarters office, San Francisco, and we just are going to lease now in Dallas. So Atlanta is the next big ticket item for us. Next slide, please. Here's a concept board of what Nap York's design at the Aviator would be. In addition to the amenities Kevin's already provided, Nap York will include a relaxation room, 24/7 reception concierge desk, an additional co-working lounge, and a dining area. So in reviewing the city's HC district design standards, we feel that Nap York meets the zoning requirements with the exception of being a standalone building. So we're here today to get your thoughts and hopefully suggestions on how we could move forward at the Aviator. Any questions?
All right, Councilmember McKenzie?
Well, first of all, I want to thank both of you gentlemen for coming out this evening. What you have presented to us, to me, is an answer to prayer. Living here in College Park, having to go other places now as a resident, and the interesting thing is I have done a couple of staycations right there at the hotels. Just a staycation, to get away from home for a minute. And, trying to find somewhere to eat, the different hotels have somewhere, but you want variety. And as I travel through Atlanta, I see this in so many places. I'm not going to name because I'm not trying to advertise for those other locations. But I don't see any reason why we can't have this in College Park. I am from New York originally, so I do understand the concept. And my husband does happen to be a captain with Delta Airlines who travels all the time. And he goes places that have, where the pilots are staying, they don't have time to go into town.
Right.
They need to have it wherever the hotels are or where they're going to be doing their overnight, their layovers, what they call it. So I am definitely interested to learn more about your project, see how the City of College Park can partner to make this happen. I don't know all the rules and regulations, but I know that it is definitely a project that is worthy of College Park and that College Park is worthy of this project. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Councilmember Carn?
All right, great to see you guys.
You too.
I know I met you earlier this year, and you told me about the concept. I was very impressed. I understand one of your flagship locations is in Central Park.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
that's the headquarters location.
The city manager, this is the type of first-class stuff we want to have in these type of amenities in the city. I actually be in Manhattan in July, actually, so I may try out
Well, we'll see if we get you a tour set up.
your area. Yeah. This
And one
is,
quick note, the idea here is, given that Atlanta is the world's busiest airport, once this is successful after the first year or two, the plans to expand and make this their flagship location.
Yeah, great. Well, we're working to dress up the hospitality campus, the GICC campus. Giannis, the director, he's doing a great job with the city manager on it. We're putting millions of dollars into the campus right now. Repavement of parking areas, the streetscapes. The landscaping is going to be full and very green with lots of color all throughout that campus. So we want to get that moving, city manager, as soon as possible and get them rolling on through the process. I understand you're already in the process, but we want to double our efforts and make sure that we get this stuff moving here for you. So, great job.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Councilmember Arnold?
Thank you for the presentation. Very, very impressive presentation and much-needed services for the city, especially by way of the restaurants and this whole concept to support the airline industry is definitely unique. I like it. And I know that we have a lot of individuals that do it, what do they call it when they're doing the room?
Crash pads?
There you go, the crash pad situation.
Right.
So, I just getting out of that crash pad business and having something unique like this, and a professional environment where people can go. I just love the concept. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Councilmember Gay?
I think it's a good concept. I have a couple quick questions. Is the hotel for the pilots in the same space that he's proposing, the first floor of that building?
It'll be on the second floor. It's going to take about 5,000 square feet of the 25,000 available.
Now, this is Vilas Patel property, correct?
Correct. I am the lead investor on the project, and we're investing $10 million into this project.
So what do they need from the city? What
Don't
are
want
they
to-
asking? Where is
We
the
are
city-
waiting for city attorney's approval, just to sign off on us being allowed in the HC zoning.
Being allowed to what?
The HC, the hospitality campus zoning. All of the hotels in that area are zoned HC. We aren't the full building like all the other hotels. We're just taking a small portion of the second floor, but offering all the same amenities and services as your standard hotel, but just on a 5-star level.
The only thing I would recommend is that we have a lot of hotels that have invested a lot of money, and we just need to identify that we not compromising their investment. I don't know enough about it, but I know if it is involved, there's something to it, so.
If I may, so Nap York is a short-term stay hotel. The idea is to have our members come in less than 8 hours. So somebody going searching for a full hotel service, they want to stay the night, 12, 24 hours, completely kind of different subject. And this, again, is just specifically for the airline crew members. So business travelers and folks like that,
I don't have
hotels.
a
all
problem with
for
it. I just think that we still need to make sure that we do our due diligence, check with Mercedes, and just find out that what they're proposing, city attorney and city manager, is not compromising the investments of those, because we got 2 other hotels that are being built, that are proposing to be built. I just want to make sure we're not compromising any of that, that's all I'm saying.
How many locations of Nap York are in New York?
2.
Two.
There's one main building, that's the Central Park location, and then there's a smaller, kind of a short-term lease that they've got with another property owner. It's a much smaller concept. The expansion plans that we showed earlier in the presentation, those will be the full-size 5,000, 6,000 square foot locations.
Okay.
And they have 2 of those now, New York, San Francisco.
Are the locations in New York exclusively for flight crews?
Yes.
When I read the reviews of Nap York, people described it as a hostel, and they definitely weren't flight crew folks. So how does this work? To ensure that you're actually getting
Yeah.
people from flight crews in there and not others?
I understand. The smaller concepts that they have in the multifamily buildings or small office buildings where it's 10, 12 units, those are open to anybody. Oh, I'm sorry. For the larger units, when you sign up for membership, you have to upload your passport and your airline badge ID. Otherwise, your application is denied and you don't gain access.
I see. So these 2 concepts, can one happen without the other, or is it a package deal?
It's this specific concept for College Park is just for airline crew members.
I apologize. I meant Aviator and Nap York.
The Aviator is a standalone product. We would love for Nap York to be there, but we're moving ahead with the project, and we've secured the co-working group, and we're in our design phase, and we're also in our planning phase for doing tours for different restaurateurs, coffee operators, and retail as well. So we've already started all that, but I wanted to come out formally, introduce myself, that way you guys know what's going on. And we want to work in conjunction very closely because we want this to be a crown jewel for the city of College Park.
Understood. All right.
Mayor,
Councilmember
another
McKenzie?
comment. I just wanted to, again, speak about what you guys do in terms of, like I said, being an airlines person. What happened, this is a different concept from a hotel. What happens with persons who are in the airline industry, especially the flight crew members, they may have a 10-hour layover. And I remember when my husband first got started, he would stay right there in the airport, and you can't get the good rest that you need. What we have here, what I see what you all would be doing, I don't see a conflict between the current hotel industry that we have in College Park, because it's a specific service, and it's a service that is needed for our flight crew. And even in terms of the hotels, if we look at the persons in aviation, some of the airlines do not even sleep their flight crew here in College Park. They send them into Atlanta. So I don't even see how this is endangering our revenue as a city. I do want us to do all of our due diligence, but I think I don't want you all to walk away and think that this is a concept. We're going to do our research, and we're going to do our due diligence. But I think it's an excellent concept. It's very much needed, and change is difficult for people at times, but we need change, and we need to be able to accommodate the influx of persons who come through our airport. We said 5 million people. So just talking about riding the SkyTrain. Yes. And so I see a College Park in the future that accommodates, that comes out of the box, that is there for the whole and for the greater good of the metropolitan Atlanta, not some little high school cheerleading team that does not want to allow other concepts into our city. So I welcome what you guys are doing. I think it's needed. None of us are trying to belittle. We just got to do, we'll be doing our work on our side.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for that. I just want to add one thing on the Nap York. It's also a place for somebody to stay for 2 hours. Maybe they want to pray, they want to disconnect, they want to relax. So it's not necessarily, yes, somebody needs to recharge, but it could also just be a place for some quiet time to read a book, etc.
Councilmember Gay?
Everybody up here has an opinion, but at the same time, what I will ask the city attorney and the city manager to do is to make sure that we have done our due diligence. Because let me tell you why. Let's say 500 pilots and flight attendants don't stay in the traditional hotels. I just heard during the budget that stays were down. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm saying I don't know enough about it to be co-signing on something that on its face takes hotel stays from traditional properties. That much I do know.
Gotcha.
Fair enough.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate your time.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Item 3, discussion on the health and benefits renewal as presented by SCR Consulting LLC for plan year July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2027.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
We are here to present our annual, we'll go over our annual health and benefits renewal. And SCR Consulting Group is here to present. So I have Mr. Steve Roberts and Ms. Rosalind Britt.
Thanks, Krista. Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. We're approaching our July 1st, 2026 anniversary, and it's when Anthem, the current underwriter, makes its rate adjustments. The renewal study period they used was February through March of this year, and within that period, we incurred $5,800,000 of paid claims. The majority of those claims were incurred by 15 people. And let me rephrase, the $5 million was incurred by 15 people. That doesn't include the other insureds that we have on the plan. So there's actually a total of $7 million in claims versus the $5 million that we've paid in. Of course, like any other business, the insurer is there to make money. Their profit margins weren't there because of the claims that were incurred, and that in turn, in doing their underwriting, created an adverse increase for us. We started out at 60%. We've gotten them down to 39%, with the plan remaining as is. We've also gone back and asked for alternatives, which we have one that we think is fairly close to where we are, which would entail roughly a 23% increase over where we are today. We are still negotiating with them, trying to bring those numbers down, but again, it's those 15 claims that only 2 of them, if you will not go into the next policy period. We do have 14 that will, and those 14 claims are major diagnoses, so they're going to be major claims again. This is Anthem's second year, or our second year with Anthem, and in both years, we have created adverse losses for them. We did go to the marketplace in an effort to get a lower rate, as well as use the marketplace's rates to negotiate with Anthem. A lot of the insurers came in with lower rates, but when you consider how underwriting is done, all of the new insurers know that they won't have the runoff liability which this plan has. That's the last 2 months of claims that will be incurred, that will fall in Anthem's lap. The new insurer won't have those. They'll have to worry about, if you will, runoff liability in the 2027 period. And if it's as bad as it is now, their increase is going to be just as substantial as we're receiving now. Anthem has a mature year. Their underwriting, their renewal ask is pretty much fair because they have the liability. We ask that they raise their pooling period, which when you're self-funded, that's the amount of claims that they're responsible for, versus when you're fully insured, they have all the risk. They increased that pooling point, which helped us in reducing the rate. Again, that risk falls on them, not us. They anticipate next year's claims being just as bad as they are this year. We've got to cross our fingers and hope that that doesn't happen. The option I spoke about, I'll let Ms. Britt tell you a little of that. It's very similar to the plan that we have now. It does change some of the benefits that are offered.
Thanks, Steve. As Steve said, we do have an option that we are evaluating. There will be some plan design changes in order to reduce the renewal. Changes in the deductible, office visit copays will remain fairly constant. Changes in the out-of-pocket. I think when you weigh the difference in the renewal and the savings, the employees will come out about even. Obviously, the high utilizers, those folks who are going to the hospital, they're going to see an increase because they're the ones that are hitting the deductible and the out-of-pocket maximum. Those who don't use the plan significantly, just have office visit copays and the likes, they won't see that significant of an increase at the point of service.
Can we address any questions you all may have?
Councilmember McKenzie?
I want to thank you all for your presentation. I guess the most difficult part for me is speaking to employees who are really struggling, and especially our employees that are, their hourly wage is a lot lower than some others. The troubling thing for me with these plans is the employee by themselves, for example, on page 1.3A, or page 50 actually. An employee in this new year, just by themselves, is $56 coming out every 2 weeks. But then, for one extra person, the husband, the spouse, the wife, it goes up 5 times. And I mean that, but whereas if they had a family of 4, that part, so you go from 56 for one person every 2 weeks to 296.87 for the employee and a spouse, and then we go to 372 twice a month. For many people, that is a big chunk of their check. And then I guess the situation also that's troubling is maybe for someone who's making $100,000 or $80,000, this is doable. But we don't even have a scale based on salary. Is it true, Mr. Hicks, that no matter what, the same amount of money comes out for every employee?
Crystal, you want to answer that, or you want to answer?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at Mr. Hicks. I should have been looking at you, Crystal. But I guess I was trying to go to him, and then we go to you. I'm trying to obey the order that we established over here.
Councilwoman McKenzie, thank you for the pivot. I want to make sure you guys pay close attention to what they've just said in terms of claims and the money and how it affects the budget, how it affects quite a few things that we'll talk about later.
Yeah, and I mean, I do understand the claims, and this is what happens with insurance. You have car insurance. If you don't have any accidents, you're going to probably not have a big increase. But this is just the the nature of the beast. I guess my concern overall is what I feel is an inequity of going from one person who's covered to that person and a spouse. And I mean, you all can't do anything about it because you all are, you're not the insurance companies. But it really would be helpful if we could find some type of resolution or some type of way to assist our employees that are just trying to make sure that their spouse is covered. And I'm not saying that the city, I just wish that we could really continue that there was a plan that could accommodate that. Not that there's anything we can do, but I just needed to put that out there because I do feel for our employees that are struggling. You have health insurance, then when you get to the doctor, you still have an out-of-pocket, you still have a deductible, and you're already trying to figure out how you can pay your basic bills.
Councilmember Carn?
Thank y'all for coming out. Great presentation. Things are going up. I'm assuming the marketplace is the same with all the counties and municipalities.
Well, what we're seeing is, there were a lot of subsidies before that the government provided to employees, or I should say, insureds to the general population so that they could have insurance. Those subsidies are now gone. The insurer doesn't have that. It allowed them, if you will, to spread risk because a lot of people that get insurance don't use it. If you look at your group in total, there's 531 people insured. You got 15 that had $5 million in claims, okay? There's your problem. So they no longer have a way to spread that risk. Consequently, it's going to affect those people that aren't having claims as well, such as the council member just addressed. Yes, it costs more. You talk about a spouse, that's an older person. They anticipate that person having more claims than you will a person that has a spouse and kids. The kids are gonna go for, they're gonna break an arm, they're gonna get a scratch, but they're not going to have the major claims that you're going to see in the older population, such as the spouse, or as we get older. We also have some retirees on our plan because of the way the city's rules are written, and they're costing us as well. The diagnoses that we have, particularly the large claims, I mean, there's nothing you all, the city, or anybody else could have done about them. It's cancer, it's diabetes, it's hypertension, it's the things that occur in our community. So you can't get around it, it's there.
All right, thank you.
Go ahead, Rose.
I think the one sort of good news, if there's any good news in the message, is that dental and vision remains unchanged. So when you look at the total cost, it is increasing, but when you add dental and vision to that, it's not, the full 39% or whatever. So that is, I think, a positive message that we can convey to the employees.
Councilmember Arnold?
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. And actually, the question that I had you all answered, but I do have another question in reference to maybe support programs. And what I mean by that, there are some organizations that have optional programs that employees can participate in to earn like dollars that they can use to kind of offset the cost of some of their health care. Do we have programs like that we could possibly implement to support, like healthy living type of programs? Maybe walk club, maybe a smoking cessation program, a dietary program, those types of things where they can earn dollars to kind of offset the cost of these, of the increase to the insurance.
The insurer does offer a wellness benefit, which we had and still have going into the next policy period. We just need to get the employees engaged and help them understand that they're helping themselves.
Yeah. Yep.
There's a health risk assessment attached to this plan. There's benefits when you use it. Your utilization, it's not even worth talking about. and there are dollars associated with it if you just go in and answer basic questions like, do you wear your seatbelt?
Yeah,
Okay. I mean, it's basic stuff, and you need to know your numbers. They want to know your blood pressure, your LDL, your HDL, questions like that, which when they go to the doctor, they can get that stuff. They can call the doctor, get it. It's loaded into the system, and then a reward is provided if that information is done. There's a 24-hour nurse line, which will assist employees when something's happening. Rather than running to the emergency room, they can call the nurse line, talk to them. There's TeleDoc, where you don't have to go to the doctor. You can call on the phone, talk to a doctor on the phone. You couldn't get prescriptions in Georgia earlier, you can now. So all of that can be done at a cheaper cost to the employee. We just need to get the employees engaged. And we're pushing to do that, but that's a difficult scenario because people feel like, I gotta go to the emergency room. I don't wanna go to the urgent care center. You can get the same care and you won't wait as long. Okay, so,
Do
but
we have
it's a
any
change of mindset.
assets, any assets, any communication assets?
Yes.
Or materials that we can start to promote? Because of course, if people don't know that they
Mm-hmm.
can utilize these things and that those dollars, there are dollars associated and attached to those programs to help them.
Yes.
Of course, they're not gonna use it.
Yes.
So maybe it's something that we can do as a city to help with the engagement and to help spread the message that there is something there that's available to them that they can take advantage of to help offset the cost. That's it. Thank you.
Councilmember Gay?
Hey, well, mine is similar to my colleagues in terms of preventative, but, Steve, you said that, did you say that some claimants won't be able to be reinsured in the next, did you say that?
No. What I was referring to is there are two types, there's two ways of financing a plan. There's self-funding and there's fully insured, which you pay the insurer a premium, they take full risk, win or lose, they keep or they lose. And the last 2 years, because College Park is fully insured, Anthem's taken it on the chin, particularly this year, because your $5 million in premium, there's $7 million plus paid out in claims. So they took it on the chin. If we were self-funded, you would buy reinsurance, which would protect you up to a certain point. So say if we decided to self-insure and we paid claims up to $150,000, then College Park would be on the hook for $150,000 per claim, and then anything above that, the reinsurer would pay. In this instance, we would have had to increase our reinsurance because a reinsurer renewing at $150,000 this year, when you've got 10 of 15 claims, which has exceeded that $150,000, we would be in the same boat.
Yeah. A couple of things that also come to mind is, do we have the ability to purchase something that's called stop-loss insurance option?
That's reinsurance, that's correct. You have to be self-funded in order to have stop-loss.
So
If
we
you're
can't-
fully insured, the insurer has that stop-loss within their books. They're responsible for any claim up to a certain limit. If we were self-funded, College Park would be responsible for each claim up to a certain limit.
But aren't we self-insured for, some other liability? So can we look at some, what they call it, can we look at how that looks, in terms of cost, like do some kind of, Steve, like bring those numbers to us so we can.
Yeah,
kinda
we
look
can
at-
certainly do that, but,
There ain't enough time?
no, we've got time because you're only getting a stop-loss quote. What happens with stop-loss and self-funding, you don't save money, it's just called an enhancement, because some months your claims are gonna be high, some months your claims are gonna be low. So you're gonna have some cash flow enhancement. However, when claims are high, you're gonna feel it in your pocket. This year particularly, let's look at this year where you have 10 claims that are over $150,000. If we had purchased stop-loss at $150,000 mark, which I would predict for a group of this size, you would have paid $1.5 million in claims that would have come directly out of the city's coffers when those claims incur. But we can certainly look at it.
And typically, self-funding works best when you have good experience, right? Because you can't outrun your claims experience. And so, we can certainly look at it for, this year. But what we know and what the insurance carriers know and the stop-loss underwriters also know is that you're going to have these claimants that are ongoing, fairly significant claims, and they're gonna underwrite and price for that.
And a couple final comments I want to make, since we are talking about such an increase, is that, respectfully, a lot of people take jobs, they retire off their jobs, they come to our companies for the purpose of insurance.
Right.
I mean, I know in instances where we just paid for a heart transplant, which is at least a $2 million claim, right? But people I don't know what we could do about this, but people intentionally work for companies just because they know. So that brings me to this point. What are we doing as a company in terms of, do we have case managers? Do we look, are we taking this data? Are we analyzing it? Are we trying to understand our workforce? Is our employees is the age of our employees a factor? I don't never hear anything about what we're doing for risk. I just hear the loss. Can you explain what you all do in terms of risk?
In all fairness to the city, let me take your question and let me break it in parts. In all fairness to the city, you guys pay more of a contribution for your employee and their dependents than most municipalities that are out there. You're above average in that respect. Your council member mentioned it's more for an employee and spouse, but when you look at what the city pays for an employee and spouse, it's more than you're going to find in 90% of the municipalities in the state of Georgia, and I might even say 90% better than most of the municipalities in the country. So you make a substantial contribution towards your employees and their dependents coverage. When you start talking about case management, when a claim gets into Blue Cross Blue Shield's pocket, trust me, they're doing case management because they're trying to mitigate that risk. We hear about it. We know what's happening with those claims that are there. You have two that one is passed on, one is recovering, but none of that happened until those claims were in excess of $300,000-$400,000. You still have two that are open now that are in excess of $1.5 million. Just two claims, okay? Those people are being cared for. They've got case managers working with them because those dollars are now coming out of Anthem's pocket. So yes, we know what they're doing. We hear about it. What we have to do is engage our employees in more preventive activities, getting them to understand going to get a physical, ain't nothing wrong with getting a physical. For guys, we won't go because we're afraid of prostate exams, but they take your blood and do that now, so you ain't got to worry about the old-fashioned way. But we need to go, and we're not going. We go when it's too late. My leg about to fall off, so now let me go when I could have gone when my leg first started hurting, and I'd probably still have my leg. So we need to engage our employees and more, and we have collateral. We're pushing it out, but I think it's, they get it, they're throwing it away. They're not reading it and understanding the consequences of taking advantage of some of this stuff and what it would do and how it would help them.
One final question for me. Are we allowed to do pre-employment physicals?
Yes, you can do
And
pre-employment.
Can we use the findings to?
Not that you can't do, okay? But you can do pre-employment physicals, but you can't
What's the point of
use.
doing them then, Steve?
You know you're hiring a healthy person. But you can't discriminate against them if there is a health condition.
So we can hire somebody knowingly have a serious medical claim. We can hire you knowingly that you're gonna need a organ transplant.
And so, remember, when you're hiring the employee, you're hiring the family as well. So when we look at those claimants, right, some of them are employees, but a great number of them are also dependents. They're the spouses, they're the kids, they're other folks who are on the plan. And as Steve talked about, you know, two things are driving some of this, right? Number one, you have a higher percentage of dependence on your plan because it's cheaper for them to be on the plan. And then number two is your demographics, right? So your age, your population is slightly older, and so that drives utilization and claims cost as well. So those are two things, right? You know, you can't necessarily outrun. You know, by virtue of you being city and you're covering all types of employees, you know, you typically are hiring more experienced folks. Experience comes with age, comes with, you know, the demographics.
Don't have any more questions.
Madam Clerk, the work that you're doing right now, I can't see that chart that is up.
I apologize. Let me pull that up.
Because I had a question about the chart. Between the current structure and the alternate structure that we see on this chart. And I see the difference is the employer increase.
Correct.
So is that a choice that the council needs to make tonight, whether or not the contribution is 1.8 million or 1.4 million?
No, I don't think it's a decision you need to make tonight.
Okay.
Because we also want to provide you with the alternate plan that we're negotiating. That doesn't change a lot, but it changes the numbers. We're trying to, our objective is to make sure that you can still offer the same contribution strategy that you're offering today. Yes, that hit's going to be felt by the employer and the employee because the rates are going up. But I think it's a good thing that College Park does in trying to provide affordable coverage for their employees. And again, when I look at my client base, as well as the studies we do, the contribution structure that you have is better than most.
Understood.
Question.
Councilmember McKenzie?
I noticed we don't have maybe because I'm new to this, we don't have an HMO option. Is that something that's totally different?
No, you do have an
We
HMO
do?
option, yes.
Okay.
The HPN
Okay.
is your HMO option.
Got
It's different from, there's two types of HMOs. There's a Kaiser, which is a closed model type where you have to go to Kaiser facilities, Kaiser doctors because they own them. And then the traditional insurers came out with their own where they provided a narrower network, but you still have to go to those networks, but you can go outside of that. So you have the option. It's just called an open access HMO, if you will.
So if we had the other type of HMO where you had to go to the Kaiser facility, is there a way that would be more affordable for our employees?
Well, it's, rate-wise, if you look what Kaiser presented, because they did quote on your case as well, they are lower than Anthem's initial request, but after we negotiated, it came down. With the alternate, it's going to come down even more. But with Kaiser, again, everybody proposing is quoting an immature year. And what that means, for the first couple of months of your new policy period, they're not going to have claims. They're going to have maintenance drugs that some of your employees may be on. Somebody has an accident, somebody's going to the doctor regularly, so they can discount their rates based on that. Whereas Anthem continues with your claims regardless. Next year, any proposing insurer will then have to quote on a mature year because they have run-out liability at that point. So we're going to see that in their increase as well. Right now, any proposing insurer is discounting because, if you will, they only have 9 months of claims to be responsible for. And if they give you a high increase and you decide to leave, they're stuck with that runoff liability. They just didn't quote for it.
Would you still be able to provide that information for us? Or
The
is that
Kaiser
just-
quote, yes, there is,
Where's Kaiser?
yeah.
Wait,
Is it-
am I missing that on my page?
Is it,
It's at the end of the.
it's in there? It's in there, yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
all
missed
of the
whole
proposing
page.
insurers that
Got
we
it.
receive
Okay.
quotes
I didn't
from
I
are included.
I was out at page
That's okay.
51. Okay, that's my bad.
It's dark in here.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay.
The other thing, you know, when you're looking at a Kaiser, it's important, any of the alternatives, I'm sorry,
Yeah, go ahead.
any of the alternatives, there's gonna be a level of disruption. When we say disruption, we're talking about the fact that I go to Dr. John, I go here, whatever. Dr. John may or may not be in the United Network. Dr. John is definitely not gonna be in the Kaiser Network. So all of your employees would have to switch to a Kaiser physician.
Right, I got
Because their cell phone, Kaiser is what's called a staff model HMO. And so, that's something that you have to consider is, you know, how much bang for the buck how much bang for the buck are we getting, and what level of disruption and, you know, disharmony will the employees experience?
Thank you.
I will say that when we were with Kaiser and made that switch to Kaiser, we heard it from the employees. We most certainly heard it from the employees. I think it was probably about 2/3 opposed and about 1/3 in favor, if that. Do you say, Ms. Gilbert?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very, very disruptive.
And typically,
And that's
if you're
before my
not,
time.
if you're not one that does not have an established relationship with a physician, it doesn't matter.
Right.
So the 1/3 are probably those folks who, you know, don't seek care regularly.
And I'm certain you're going to hear it from the 15 large claims that you have, because those people are gonna have to make a transition. That's gonna be a big problem.
Certainly. Certainly.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course.
Appreciate your time. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. And we are done with the workshop session at 6:59, and we have a redevelopment authority session starting at 7 PM.
Can we take a break?
We want to take a quick break.
Would you like a 10-minute break?
I don't know if we need 10.
I just need
5 minutes, that's all.
Okay, we'll take
7:05.
a 5-minute break and reconvene at 7:05.
Thank you.
So, Mayor and Council, just a quick effort.
Good evening. We have a quorum present for the first meeting of the redevelopment agency with council members McKenzie, Carn, and Arnold, and Gay present. Councilmember Gay is joining us. And so I will call the meeting to order at 7:11 PM. We do have a quorum. Is there a motion to approve the meeting agenda?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous. Is there a motion to approve the August 2026 meeting schedule? That being the next meetings being August 17th and November 2nd, 2026.
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Any discussion? Here.
Are those on council dates
Yes, sir.
as well? Okay, all right. Okay. If we need to have one, those are the dates.
Those are the dates. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That is unanimous. Is there any new business? Okay, so there is none listed, so is there a motion to enter into executive session for the purposes of discussion of real estate?
Motion. Oh.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous. We will enter into executive session at this time.